What is up, the Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don P. We're back here once again. You already know what time it is when you see me in front of your TV. One thing's for certain, three things are for sure. Number one, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. We came to give you stats. This is number two. Not none of that static. And number three, perhaps the most important number of them all. Number three. We want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. Then you may be asking yourself, how Don? How Mr. P does one keep their Lions news pragmatic? Well, it's very simple, very easy. And I'm glad you asked. And I'll go ahead and tell you right now. Want to make sure you smash that like button. Want to make sure you subscribe. Want to make sure you share with your peoples. And once you've done these things, and it doesn't matter which order you've done them in, you've done them and you've kept your Lions news pragmatic. And since sharing is caring, once you share this stream with your mothers, your brothers, your fathers, sisters, your cousins, your uncles, your sisters, your neighbors, your fathers, your brothers, sisters, cousins, you name it, you name it, you have indeed cared about these people. Uh What up, though, man? We got things we got to get into today because the Detroit Lions for their playoff lives on Sunday. They will be fighting for their playoff lives. And some of you may look at it as not a must win because you could still win out the rest of these games. And that's just scare talk to me. That's scared talk to me. Everybody who thinks that way is scared right now. You're scared of the Los Angeles Rams. You're scared of Matthew Stafford. You're scared of Puka Nakura. You're scared of Devontae Adams. You're scared of maybe even Kyron Williams, which if you're scared of Kyron Williams, I don't know what to tell you because Kyron Williams isn't scary. Kyron Williams will put the ball on the ground, and he does so quite frequently. It's almost clockwork. The amount of games that he's cost that team because of his fumbles is quite ridiculous. But because he's Damon's cousin, I want him to stay employed. You know what I mean? Keep it in the family. However, the Detroit Lions may have gotten a little bit of help last night. They may have gotten a little bit of help last night. And I will tell you why. There was a game last night, Monday Night Football. It happened at the same stadium in which we are going to be playing on Sunday. What had happened was, okay, the Los Angeles Chargers beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles still remain atop the NFC East because the division is terrible. You have the Washington Commanders, who I believe are in last place in the division. Actually, no. It's between them and the Giants. One of them is in last place in the division. Okay. And they are eliminated, obviously, from the heck? Hold on. It's crazy. The picture stuff's not the the playoff picture is not loading. What the frick is this? Oh, okay. No, we can't look at the bracket. This is crazy, bro. The playoff picture is literally not loading. What are we doing? And so NFL.com is just not loading. Anyway, I guess I'll go with ESPN then, since NFL.com doesn't want to do much. All right. So let's see. Okay. So those who have been eliminated already are the Atlanta Falcons, the Arizona Cardinals, the New Orleans Saints, the Washington Commanders, and the New York Giants. Okay, all of those teams have been eliminated. So the New York Giants are last in the NFC East. They are 2-11. The Washington Commanders are third in the NFC East. They are 3-10. The Dallas Cowboys are second in the NFC East, and they're 6-1. And at 8-5, the um okay, hold on. Getting some information there. They are the division leaders at 8-5. Now, obviously, I don't think the Eagles will miss the playoffs. Why do I not think the Eagles will miss the playoffs? Well, I'll tell you. Okay, they got some. Oh, okay. That's it. What up, though? Tactical Sport. Yo, that's cool. Hey, man, I'm telling you, Chrome. If y'all not using the Chrome browser, there's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't using the Chrome browser, there's something really wrong here, baby. They got this new split browser view, split tab view. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up. Um, so now I can look at the chat and I can look at the article or whatever other site I'm looking at the time, getting the information. Same time. Same time. But tactical, you got to get on it same time. As Smokey said, same time, man. I don't know you, same time. Uh so here's the reason. Okay. Um the reason I don't believe that okay. Now here's the other thing. Hold on. Okay. We separated the view. All right. Got to separate the view. All right. Here's the other reason. Eagles schedule 2025. Their remaining schedule. I know the players, the teams. Okay. Here's their remaining schedule. The Raiders, who have 2 wins. The Commanders, who have 2 wins. And the Bills. Let me repeat that for you. The Raiders, who have 2 wins. The Commanders, who have 2 wins. And the Bills. So if you thought that they were going to lose anything, they may win, they may lose to the Bills. That's about it. So that means that they should finish the season 10-6. I'm sorry, 10 and wait. No, they gotta have another game, right? Because that just showed 3 more games. I think they have 2 games against the Commanders. Okay, they've got 2 games against the Commanders. So that's 11-6, and that's going to be enough for them to win the division. Why is it going to be enough for them to win the division? Because of this. Let's see. Let's look at the Dallas Cowboys. What is their remaining schedule? Okay. Their remaining schedule is for some reason it's not showing. Okay. Their remaining schedule is this schedule thing is really wonky. Okay. They have the Vikings. That's coming up. That is like America's game of the week. That's Sunday Night Football. So that's gonna suck. The Cowboys and the Vikings, Sunday Night Football. I think the Cowboys should beat the Vikings. Didn't the Cowboys have the Chargers? The Chargers just beat the Eagles. Should be able to beat the Cowboys. Then the Cowboys have the Commanders and the Giants. So if we say both of these teams are going to lose one more game in the remaining 4, then the Eagles will probably stay atop the NFC East. Right? Because the trailing team and the team in the first position are looking at only one more loss. Okay, so I don't see that happening. What up, though, Will Murray? You can do that with Safari. Okay. I don't listen. I don't think they're splitting with the Commanders. I really don't. I mean, the Eagles are not great, but the Commanders just got blown out by 9 and the Vikings. And y'all, if y'all don't know who 9 is the alter ego that JJ McCarthy has. I call him 9. How corny is that? Because his wide receiver has Jettas. As corny as that is, for you to have an alter ego, Justin Jefferson has done something in the league. He has done something. He has warranted having this alter ego. He has warranted being able to be a character. JJ McCarthy is trash. Okay. Now, he's a rookie. Technically, he's not, but we'll give him that he's a rookie because he didn't play at all last year. And doesn't seem to have learned anything from sitting behind Sam Darnold. JJ McCarthy this year has been trash. I can't say he will always be trash, but he's been quite trash this season. So that guy blew you out. Him and his team blew you out. Did the Washington Commanders score? Dan Quinn said the team took 10 steps back. 10 steps backwards. Beating the Eagles once. Didn't matter if Jaden Daniels was back there. Didn't matter who was back there. Jaden Daniels got blown out by JJ McCarthy. That's just how it works. That's how it goes. So I don't think that that's going to happen. So we're going to have to get help from elsewhere. And that brings us to our topic. Just do your damn job. That's it. Just do your damn job. If you do your damn job, then you don't have to worry about anybody else. Okay? So I don't know. I don't know. The Eagles have not looked good at all. The last time the Eagles won was against us. Isn't that terrible? Isn't that terrible? We were the last win for the Eagles. It's crazy. I guess that's a heck of a Honolulu Blue flu, right? All right. So the NFC playoff picture looks like this. The Los Angeles Rams are the number 1 seed. Okay. Do your damn job. That's how it works. The Los Angeles Rams are the number 1 seed. If you do your damn job, and you beat them, you throw things into turmoil. Okay. But beating the Los Angeles Rams will not automatically put you in the playoffs. Okay. Because you beating the Los Angeles Rams would put you at 9-5. Okay. The Chicago Bears are at 9-4 right now. Okay. The Bears would need, let me see what I'm looking at here. Let's see their schedule. Okay. The Bears would need to lose to the Cleveland Browns, which is possible. It's doable. Okay. In order for that to happen, the San Francisco 49ers are above the Bears. Okay. So the San Francisco 49ers, let's look at their schedule. Who do they have coming up? The Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are not beating the San Francisco 49ers. So your only path to being in the playoffs after this week is for you to beat the LA Rams, and for the LA Rams to then, or not the LA Rams, the Chicago Bears to then lose to the Browns. And then by virtue of the tiebreaker over the Bears, then you would vault into 7th place. And the Bears would take your place at 8th place. Or, yes, that will work because they're no longer the division leaders. Okay. The Packers, unfortunately, are leading the division. So, yes, that's how that would work. If you beat the Rams and the Bears lose to the Browns, then you will take over the 7th and last playoff spot in the NFC for now. Okay. Lions still got to handle business. Can't just only rely on other teams. That's what I'm saying, Schiff. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said just do your damn job. Not saying that it'll happen, but it's viable for the Eagles to split with the Commanders. The Commanders got blown out by the Vikings. I mean, I can't get past the blowout. Not that it just got beat. Not that it was a close game. The Commanders got blown out by the Vikings. The Eagles last night sacked Justin Herbert 7 times and almost survived 5 turnovers by Jalen Hurts. Even with 4 turnovers, they were trailing with 2 minutes to go. Right? Jalen Hurts had turned the ball over 4 times, and the Chargers were still trailing with 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. They kicked a field goal to tie the game and send it to overtime with about 15 seconds left. Okay? So with all of that happening, the game was still hanging in the balance with 2 minutes left to go. And then Jalen Hurts finished off the game by trying to fit the ball into a tight window, and it got picked off. Jalen Hurts had 5 turnovers. Justin Herbert was sacked 7 times. And the final score of the game was 22-19. It was a 3-point game. So if the Washington Commanders have any type of chance to do anything, I don't know what the chance is, because they can't get into a defensive battle like the Eagles can. The Eagles' offense is so bad that their defense has to be that good to keep them in striking range. And you've seen them do it time and time again. So I don't know. But could they really lose to the Browns, though? Yes. The Browns' defense is a very good defense. Shedeur Sanders, like him or not, put up 360 yards. Yes, it wasn't a loss, but the kid's got something. Like him or not, I don't have any opinion of him one way or the other, because he doesn't play for my team. Okay, so I don't really have a dog in the fight. You see what I did there? Browns, dog pound, dog in the fight. Keep up, keep up, keep up. I just don't. I would like to see Shedeur succeed because of all of the, the backlash and all of the hoopla and the brouhaha, all that, and the collusion or whatever the case may be. But there's a big possibility for the Bears to lose to the Browns, because if Caleb Williams thinks that he's going to run around in the backfield and he's going to get away from Myles Garrett, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. So that could be a big tipping point there. Absolutely not. They're going to have to fight tooth and nail in every game from here on. What is absolutely not? I don't know what you're talking about. But we got beat by the Vikings. So here's the thing. We got beat by the Vikings. Number one, the Vikings are in our division. So you can't sleep on anybody in your division. And I know it's the same thing with the Commanders and the Eagles. I know. And we got beat by the Vikings because we forgot how to call offense. That's the issue. The Eagles' offense has been bad, yes. I just don't. The Vikings are a bad football team. And if you're not in their division and there's not that familiarity with you and they blow you out, I think that says a lot more about your football team. We didn't get blown out by the Vikings. It was a 1-score game. And there we had multiple opportunities to win it, but we just didn't. The Commanders never showed up. The outcome was never in question. Again, because of the way our offense looked. Right? I just think it says more about the Commanders getting blown out by the Vikings than it says about us losing to the Vikings. I feel you. I understand what you're saying. But my point is, because they got blown out by the Vikings, blown out. I think if Marcus Mariota was in that game, they wouldn't have got. I mean, you had your star quarterback come back, all of this other stuff, and you got blown out by the Vikings. I told people that the Commanders were nothing to be afraid of when before the schedule came out. I told people this. People didn't want to listen to me, right? People wanted to be scared of the Commanders for whatever reason. I don't know. Okay. But it's happened the way I said. What up, though, JSJ? We did not look. Go look at JJ's stats. JJ had 150 yards of total offense from the quarterback position. That is not the second coming of Tom Brady at all. Nah. Sorry. JJ did not look good. I like he picked up maybe some key third downs and stuff like that, but 150 yards of total offense from a quarterback position. No. You got Jay Jettas, you got Jordan Addison. I don't really like him at all, that much, but you got TJ Hawkinson. You got all these weapons, and all you can put up is 140. What is it? Because his run, I think, was 12 yards, right? So you're talking about 137 yards or 138 yards passing. I'm just saying, that's not nothing. The Packers did also lose to the Browns, yes. Which is, again, any given Sunday and all that stuff, but the Browns defense is formidable. And they may have figured something out with Shedeur. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if the Bears lose to the Browns. Don't be surprised. Where is this game? Is it in Chicago or is it in Cleveland? Let's check the schedule. All right. The Chicago Bears. Okay, it's in Chicago. So it'll be harder for them to lose at home, but I'm not going to say that it's impossible. All right. All right. So I did say that we're going to take some time today to look at the opponent on defense. Okay. So let's just look at this defense right quick. I'm just going to go by the numbers. I usually save this for the show before the game. But I'll go back over them later. Okay. Total defense. The Rams are 13th. The Lions are 15th. The Rams give up 315 yards per game. The Lions give up 323.9, so 324. Okay, we're separated by 9 points, nine yards. Okay, the Lions have given up 35 touchdowns. The Rams have given up 24. Now, it's harder to score on the Rams, clearly, right? Okay, because we are separated by 11 touchdowns. Okay, all right. Let's look at the passing defense. The Rams are not great. They're smack dab middle of the pack. Okay, they're 16th. They give up 211.5. Okay, so 211 and a half yards per game. They've given up 18 pass touchdowns. The Lions are just down under them at 19th. We give up 221.2. Again, separated by 10 yards there. Okay, separated by 10 yards. That means our rush defense is slightly better than theirs. I'm just guessing. Okay, I'm just guessing. We're separated by 9 yards. We're separated by 10 yards in the pass. That means that our rush defense has to be 1 yard better than theirs, right? That would be the logic. Okay. Let me put this up here. I gotta get used to this. Okay, move the tab into split view. Swap with. There we go. Okay. All right. So they've given up 18 touchdowns. We've given up 26 in the air. Okay. As I said, it's harder to score on them. We can move the ball, but our red zone offense is going to be very, very important in this situation. All right. Rushing defense. The Rams are directly under the Lions, as I said. The Lions are 10th. The Rams are 11th. The Lions give up 102.7 yards per game. The Rams give up 103.5. What did I say? 1 yard. It's actually 0.8 yards. Okay. We've given up 9 touchdowns. They've given up 4. Okay. Scoring defense. Definitely the Rams are better than the Lions. The Rams are number 3 in scoring defense. As I said, they've given up 24 touchdowns total. Okay. The Lions are 18th with our 35. Okay. So we give up 23.4 points per game, and the Rams give up 17.5. So it's pretty much a whole touchdown difference, almost, right? 6 points. So touchdown difference. Okay. Red zone defense. Again, the Rams must be good, right? Because they're top 3 in scoring defense. They're number 2 in red zone defense. 42.5% of the time, they allow a touchdown. Okay. And the Lions are, I know we're bad, right? In the red zone. 23rd, 61%. That is 20% difference, almost 19%. No. Third down defense. Can we convert third downs on the Rams? Well, they're number 8, 36.2% conversion rate against them. The Lions are number 11, 37.6. So we're separated by 5%. Okay. So the numbers say that it's going to be a daunting task, but the numbers also show you that you can move the ball. So obviously the key to any game, okay, the key to winning any game is to score more points than the other team. But here you got to get touchdowns. Okay, you got to get touchdowns. I believe the Philadelphia Eagles last night scored 1 touchdown the entire game, and everything else was field goals. I think the Saquon Barkley touchdown where he broke free on the fake tush push was the only touchdown that they had scored. Okay, which brings me to my next point. All right, which brings me to my next point. What up, does Zach J? Here's the thing that I want to see from Brad Holmes, Kelvin Shepard, Dan Campbell, everybody going forward. The mentality shift. Your defensive identity needs to be this. Whatever the Eagles are doing now. Okay? Whatever the Eagles are doing now, that needs to be your defensive identity. Because if this Eagles team knew how to play offense, they'd be undefeated. Let that sink in. The philosophy of the Eagles defense is that we're going to beat you even if our offense can only score 1 touchdown. Guess what? They almost did it. They almost did it. One touchdown is 7 points. 4 field goals is 12 points. 7 plus 12 is 19. They made it to 19 points. They just couldn't get that final stop that they needed to not allow the Chargers to also get to 19. They also sacked Justin Herbert 7 times. And they were without Jalen Carter in the middle. This is the type of defense that can win you a championship. Going MIA on sacks, going MIA on pressures, people not getting sacks for 5 games and then coming back and having a 3-sack game, and now you're leading the team in sacks while you have your highest paid defensive end in the league type of guy having half a sack less than you. Now, I'm not going to say Hutch is having a bad season. And I know that there's pressures and there's all these, and I know he's getting chipped. And I know all this other stuff. And that's my point. That's my point. Hutch is still too easy to take out of the game. And I'm not even putting it on him because he doesn't have anybody over there. El-Quadin Muhammad was that dude for like 4 weeks. And then he disappeared for 4 or 5 weeks. He had no sacks, barely any pressure. And then he comes back and he gets a 3-sack performance. That's the inconsistency that we have to get out of moving forward. Okay? So moving forward, your model of defense, I don't care what your philosophy is. I don't care what you say about rushing the passer, stopping the run. I don't care what you say about anything. You need guys that are going to prop your team up when the offense forgets how to play. That's it. Because this, even with all the offensive woes that we've had this year, think about it. The numbers still say we're a top 5 offense in this league. We're 8-5 with a top 5 offense and a defense that was supposedly top 5. But now, I just read you the numbers. We're not top 10 in anything. We haven't been top 10 in anything for a few weeks. Yes, we've been missing Kirby Joseph the last 6-7 games. Okay? Yes, that happened. We can't talk about Brian Branch because that just happened. We haven't played a game without him yet. Marcus Davenport doesn't matter. But the fact that we were waiting for a guy to come back, that doesn't matter. And I wasn't waiting. I don't know any rational Lions fan that was waiting for Marcus Davenport to come back. The thing that the thing that, and this has a point. This is about not just about the future. This is about this week. Who's showing up? Which one of our defenses is showing up? Are we going to have the defenses? Are we going to have the Legion of Whom that showed up the first time? Who'd the Legion of Whom show up against the first time? And they'd shut them down. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? That's when the Legion of Whom made themselves known to everybody in the NFL and the national media and all this other stuff. We had one more really good game, and that was against the Eagles. But then, was it really a good game when we see the fact that the Eagles don't know how to play offense? Was it really a good game when Baker Mayfield didn't have his weapons? Everybody was injured. I'm sorry. I just don't know which defense is showing up because the offense is gonna need help against this Rams defense. Make no mistake. I read you the numbers, and there's a lot of similarities between the numbers for the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams as far as defense goes. The biggest difference that's not at all similar is that we have given up 11 more touchdowns. They are the number 2 scoring defense. We are number 18. Scoring is what matters. Scoring is what matters. Field goals get you beat. So if our offense isn't high flying, if Jahmyr Gibbs isn't going off, absolutely murdering that defense, who is showing up for us on defense? Is our pass rush going to be prevalent like it was against the Cowboys, or is it going to disappear like it had for weeks prior? Remember, before having the 5-sack performance against Dak and the Cowboys, we had 4 sacks over the previous 4 games. The previous month of NFL football, we had garnered or generated 4 sacks. So when I say do your damn job, it's gonna take. We have to look. There's something we haven't done too much this season, and this is why we're 8-5. We haven't played complementary football. We haven't. Not to the degree that we did last year when we were 15-2. Not to the degree when we were like, okay, the offense just doesn't have it this game. Okay, defense, we're gonna pick it up. And we're gonna do what we need to do to get this dub. Or the defense doesn't have it this game. The offense, we're gonna do what we need to do to get this dub. We have been very, very, very inconsistent this season. And that's why we're 8-5. And that's why we need to do our damn job. Because that's the way that we're going to win. That's the way that we're going to get to the playoffs. And once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. Anything goes. I think if you beat these Los Angeles Rams, I think you're going into the playoffs hot. I think if you beat the Los Angeles Rams, you are heating up at the time that you need to heat up. Remember when Dan Campbell said, when everyone else is doing this, we're going to be doing this? If you beat the Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles, you're doing this. Okay? If you're doing this going into the playoffs, that makes you super duper dangerous. That makes you super duper dangerous. And nobody wants to play you. Right? Last time we went to the NFC Championship game, our record was 12-5. But in order to get to 12-5, you got to beat every team in front of you. You have to go on a 4-game winning streak, and you can't drop anything. So before I get to your comments, I want to ask you guys a question. If we lose to the Los Angeles Rams, What are your expectations for this team if they get into the playoffs? Because you can lose to the Rams and still make the playoffs, but you got to go 3-1. That's the only way. So at 11-6, you could still make the playoffs, but you could mess around and miss the playoffs. Like I said earlier this year, when the schedule came out and I had all these people telling me how it wasn't important to win the North and we didn't care about the division. And all we needed to do was go 11-6 and make sure we make the playoffs. Well, be careful what you wish for. I'm going to keep telling you that because you could go 11-6 and miss the playoffs. It's very simple. Because guess what? You are number 8 in the standings right now. You are number 8. And if you lose another game and go 11-6, you're going to have to hope and wish and pray for someone else to slip up. Because if they don't, you're not making the playoffs. All right. Too bad the Lions don't have a championship level defense. No, we don't. We do not. But you can say that AQM is better than Davenport. He is better than Davenport, but that's not saying much. That's not saying much. Davenport is out there playing, trying not to get hurt. That's what Davenport's, that's his main concern right now. Davenport ruled out for Sunday, said he had a pinky cramp. If it was anybody else, I wouldn't believe it. If only someone would have listened to the fans and did something at the trade deadline, I wonder who could have foreseen Davenport not doing anything. Apparently, we're not smart enough to foresee that. So, Sonic Bobomb 15, what up, though? He says, I think they might make it in, but I lost hope. Again, the injuries are a problem. Last season was the most special and best season we ever had, ever. It felt good week by week. I mean, I get what you're saying, but we did nothing in the playoffs. We lost in the first, not in the first round because we had a bye, but we lost our first playoff game. What up, though, Frog Crop? He says, and they usually come out sleeping after a few days off. If this happens, we're cooked. That has been a bit of a trend. I cannot disagree with that. Wild card win, maybe divisional win, but even so, we had the number 1 seed last year and still managed to screw it up. Well, again, look at Jalen Hurts last night. It's hard to overcome a 5 turnover game from anybody, whether it's your quarterback or anybody. That game last night was sloppy on both sides, though. And that's why when you're turning the ball over and you're sacking the quarterback and all that other thing and all that other stuff, then the game is going to be a lot more manageable. Okay. But in the Commanders game last year in the playoffs, all we did was turn the ball over. We didn't turn them over. All they did was sack our quarterback. We weren't sacking theirs. LMAO Tyrus Wheat is better than Davenport. It don't take much. Those guys are good players. We got some good players. We're so excited to be able to get them guys. They play football and they do it well. They're not just Jags, because we got them from the Jags. Those guys are good players and they're going to help us out. They're going to help us out tremendously, down the stretch in the trenches. Tyron lately. I don't even know. Tyron, what's his name? Tyron Lue. What's that boy name? Tion Coleman. Tiana Taylor. No. What's the dude? Lacey was freaking a healthy scratch last game. Why? Why was he inactive? Davenport stats since joining the Lions: 6 games played, 4 tackles, and 1 half sacks. Man, I'm glad we got him back. Hey man, I feel the same way, 100%. Our best shot was 2 years ago. If only CJ would have backed up all his talk instead of getting dusted all over the field, we could have won that game. I'm not putting that on CJ. I'm not. There were 2. If only Josh freaking what's his name? What's that dude's name? I don't even remember his name now. Josh. What's his name? The receiver, Josh Reynolds. If only Josh Reynolds would have caught those passes. Right? If only. If only Jahmyr Gibbs hadn't fumbled. If only the ball didn't bounce off of Kendall Vildor's face mask and freaking Brandon Ayuk made a freaking insane catch. If only somebody could have sacked Brock Purdy in the second half. You know, if only we could have put up 3 more points, we could have gone to overtime. If only we could have put up 4 more points, we would have won the game and gone to the Super Bowl. So I'm not putting that on CJGJ. And don't look now, CJGJ is balling for the Bears. And he could be a difference when we play them the last game this season. Because he wasn't there when we played them and we dropped 52 in their heads. Now, I don't know if you stop us from dropping 52 because of CJGJ. But I tell you what, if we beat the Rams, this team shouldn't be worried about losing to anybody. Because as I said, if you beat the Rams, you take care of that business. You're on a heater, officially. Right? Last week, it was the Dallas Cowboys, and we had to do that to save our playoff lives, pretty much. This week, you beat the Rams, you're officially on a heater. Right? Then, depending on what happens with the Steelers, you go in and you go back home and you beat the Steelers, who are a division leader. You're well on your way. Right? Because then you don't have anybody left but the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. You shouldn't have lost to Minnesota the first time. I think you're going to have a much, much better game plan against Brian Flores' defense this time, especially since Johnny Moe is not calling the plays. Okay? Right? If anybody has had a problem with Dan Campbell's play calling overall, that's kind of crazy. Right? There have been some things that you want back, and I'm pretty sure he wants back. I don't like certain runs up the middle on certain downs. You know what I mean? Like I feel like just be more creative than that because they know that's what you're gonna do. But overall, the offense has looked a lot better. You know, we've had a couple of games where Jared Goff didn't get the protection that he needed, but the protection has looked better overall since Dan Campbell took over. So, you know, not the Eagles game. Not the Eagles game because Jared Goff couldn't figure out how to throw around a hand. He just kept throwing it directly into hands. But you know, that's neither here nor there. I don't put that on Dan Campbell. If grasshoppers had machine guns, would birds mess with them? No, probably not. No, I don't think so. If we would have had Tyler Lazy, we would have won that game. Kane One Pride Clemson says I miss CJGJ. I mean, I get it, but I don't, you know. 78-45 Michigan over Villanova, 6:22 left to play. Oh, that's right. There's a thing that's called college basketball. Yeah, I don't watch it. I just don't. I don't have time to be watching it. All right. You know what it is. Mailbag, mailbag. What you want to do? What you gonna do when they reading you? Mailbag, mailbag. So next mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Get them in. Bask in it. All right, let's get these mailbag questions in. Your boy got to get back to work. I forgot to change my settings, man. If you were on Motor City Cats and you are not a subscriber and you enjoyed that you were able to come in and chat, please consider subscribing because I usually have the subscribers only mode on. What up, the greater good? He says, mailbag, would you give up Goff, Dan Campbell, and Amon Ra for prime Tom Brady on the Lions? Yeah. Wait. Who's the coach? Who's the coach? Because I know, Tom Brady can call it himself, but he ain't calling the defense. So who's the coach? Because if we got to go back to some silliness like Matt Patricia, no. I don't know if Tom Brady could overcome Matt Patricia as a head coach. He could overcome him as a defensive coordinator, but a head coach, I don't know. To answer your question, if the Lions lose to the Rams and somehow make the playoffs, I expect a first round loss to the Packers. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. If they lose to the Rams, I don't buy them as contenders because they will have lost every. Now, here's the thing. There are a lot of people going back with revisionist history. You can't do that in an NFL schedule. You can't go back and say, "Oh, the Ravens win wasn't as good because look at where they are." No, because the Ravens were still the Ravens as we knew it. The Ravens still gave us the type of game that the Ravens should have given us. Now, if they fell off after playing against us, maybe we had something to do with that, or maybe the fact that Lamar has been injured. Right? Yeah, everyone wants to laud Baker Mayfield for being able to throw to guys like I don't know, the guy that does the backflips, Tez something, right? That's all good, right? They had Egbuka in the game. They had whatchamacallit, Mike Evans in the game. He went out. Okay. But just because they've now struggled down the stretch or throughout the season, they're still leading. I mean, that's not I could lead the NFC South by myself. But we can't go back and say that. Like they didn't beat anybody, they didn't play anybody, you know. But if they lose to the Rams, that just shows you that it's too much. It's too much. If you get into the playoffs, anything can happen, but then you don't trust this team to beat playoff teams. That's what happens. So that's what I would say. No. If Matt Patricia is the coach, no. No. Mailbag, I know that we will not be getting rid of Goff in the near future, but if we could, what QB not named Patrick Mahomes would you like to trade for? There's a if it's not Patrick Mahomes, there's Josh Allen, there's Lamar Jackson, um, there's Joe Burrow, any of the top guys that not named Patrick Mahomes, you know. But the only one that's realistic, I mean, you want to say Joe Burrow is realistic? I don't know that he's realistic, you know. At what point do the Bengals want to blow it up and then rebuild because they've got so much money tied up in 3 people, and then they're gonna lose now Trey Hendrickson for nothing. I don't know. I mean, that would seem like the most logical one that you could say if anybody's realistic, it would be him. Mailbag, would you cut off your pinky toe with the shovel if it guaranteed the Lions to go to the Super Bowl this year and next year, but only win one of the years? No, I wouldn't mutilate myself. I'm s- uh, I'm sorry. I wouldn't do that. Um, right. Okay. Hmm. All right. Any more mailbag questions? I'll take a couple more and then take my leave. All right. Mailbag. Favorite energy drink? My favorite energy drink will probably be, I don't know, there's so many, which is why I know most of them don't work for me. Red Bull is the only one that actually seems to work. It's not my favorite. My favorite would probably be something from the Monster line. Um, there are some other ones out here that are pretty good. Can't think of them right now. Can't really think of their names. Um, because I really don't buy them anymore. I just deal with Red Bull because this is the only thing that has the chance to work for me. Nothing else. Like coffee doesn't work. Nothing has the opportunity to work. It's only Red Bull. So, I like football, but not enough to cut off a toe for a bunch of millionaires playing the game. Facts, right? No, no, no self mutilation. The ghosts, the ghosts are good. Ghosts are good too. Um, Celsius is nice because they got a cherry one. So anything cherry, I deal with it. Um, there is one here. It's like plant based energy. I think it's called something Zero Rain or something like that. But it kind of works for me as well. So yeah. But if we're talking about taste, Monster's got it on smash because Monster's got like 35 flavors. You know what I mean? The winter edition, yes. I've tried all the editions. So winter, summer, spring. The summer one is the one I drink the most, the white peach joint. Um, what's the winter? What flavor is the winter edition again? Because I know I've had it. I got you. Okay. I got you. That's what they say. Uh that's what they say. Uptime, I don't think I've tried Uptime. Rockstar, definitely I've had. Um, but any energy drink that has like that beta alanine stuff in it, I won't drink it because it feels like you're burning, like your skin is burning. So I don't deal with it. Apple and ginger is the winter edition. Okay. But yeah, we got all the editions here. We got, everything. So every color can of Red Bull we have. Fuji apple ginger. I don't remember if it was that, but yeah, I know I've had the winter edition. You know, and since we're summer now anyway, we got the summer editions. But yeah, like I said, I've had all of them. All right. I think that's gonna be it for today. So I appreciate everyone for coming by, stopping by for a drink and conversation because you know I had to drink in there. No free sponsors, but I'm not big enough, so whatever. All right, y'all. I will be back tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Wednesday. Yeah, be back tomorrow. We're gonna break this down a little bit more, talk about some injuries, talk about whatever else comes out this way. But at the end of the day, it's a really big game. Lions need to lock in. What else can you say? Like if you can't get up for this game, then I don't know what you're gonna do. You know, you can't say that you want to win a Super Bowl if you can't get up for a game like this. Um, people going back home, gonna have friends and family there. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, you know what I mean? Both of those guys are from California. So, hey, this is the first time you're going into California with an actual team, right? Since the well, not California, because they went into Santa Clara with an actual team and almost won the NFC Championship game. But you know, uh, this is the first time you're facing the Rams with an actual team in California. You faced them with an actual team in Detroit and won every one of them. So that's what that is. Um, we may not beat the Rams, but if we get players back for the playoffs, that could make a difference. The only person we can get back really is Kirby Joseph. Like Sam Laporte is out for the year, Terrion Arnold's out for the year, Brian Branch is out for the year. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know who we would get back that's gonna make a difference. Mahogany, maybe. Um, would you say that if we can win this game, we can beat anybody? Yeah, so that's the important thing. This is the one seed in the NFC. It's the one seed. And that's important for the players to know. Like, who are you going to be afraid of after that? Who in the AFC are you afraid of this year? Are you afraid of anybody in the AFC? Because I'm not. I'm not afraid of the Bills. I'm not afraid of the Ravens. I'm not afraid of the Chiefs. The Chiefs don't look like they're going to make the playoffs. So yeah, I would say that. And for the players to beat this team, they need that. Because if you beat this team on your road into the playoffs, then we can start talking about the Super Bowl again. That's just the way that it is. Because again, who are you afraid of? Nobody scares me in the AFC. And if you can beat the number one seed in the NFC, that means you should be able to beat anybody else in the NFC. So anybody that you're going to face in the playoffs, you should be able to beat them. So this is a huge, huge game for the morale of the team and for understanding what they are, that they have no limitations. Even with injuries or whatever the case may be, if everybody plays complementary football, you can get a win. And if you can get a win over the number one seed, you should be able to get a win against anybody. All right. Once again, the Motor City Cats R&D back at it. We came to give you stats, none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we are out. Peace.